Welcome on into the Fantasy Football Forge. My name is Steve, and it is time for the Week 8 waiver wire. And of course, over here you can see my sheet of injuries and exactly where those injuries are in terms of these players coming along. At the top are the less likely to be returning this week, all the way down to Cooper Kupp is supposed to be certainly rejoining the team. To what extent, we don't quite know yet as of the time of filming this, which, by the way, is before Monday Night Football has happened. We have 2 Monday Night Football games, so of course, there could be some significant additions to this list, changes due to anything that happens tonight. So, I will capture that down in the comments, but you can also, I will update this tonight after the game with any new injuries and with any waiver wire changes. So check that out, or just look down below if you're watching this on Tuesday. You can also find the rankings up on the website, www.thefforge.com, where this sheet is available, as well as all of my rankings once those get posted, usually by Wednesday at the latest, and sometimes you can kind of see them before that. With that said, I think you've had long enough to find any players that you want to kind of get a good read on in terms of their return time. So let's move on to some of the new injuries from this last week. Give you a chance to look at this. Unfortunately, looking like Brandon Ayuk, Deshaun Watson, going to be out for rest of season. And then several big names that I don't have a good read on: DK Metcalf, Jada Daniels in terms of their ETAs. Deebo Samuel, illness. Demario Douglas, I assume that they'll be okay. Juju Smith-Schuster's definitely not playing this week, and he's going to be week to week. So we will see on that. And as a reminder, I do go live 3 times between now and Sunday morning. So you can come visit me with the updated rankings as they get updated throughout the week. Thursday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same time Saturday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And actually, I think I'm going to move that back to like 7. Just make it a little bit easier on me. Things seem to start to heat up a little bit later anyways. And so 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday is going to be the updated change, if I remember. Otherwise, it'll be earlier. And also, Sunday morning, 2 hours prior to kickoff, I am always live for any of your start-to-sit questions, trade questions, etc. And there's a chance that things will get wonky because I do have court duty that I will be reporting for on Thursday. So hopefully that doesn't make things wacky going into the future. But of course, if all of a sudden things are a little bit different, I'm not live Thursday night or something, well, you know that I've probably been assigned to a trial, and that's caused a hiccup in life. So with that being said, let's get on to this week's waiver wire options. And there's a lot of the same in terms of what this waiver wire looks like from last week to this week. So the good news about that is that you had a chance to get ahead of this week's waiver wire, because I was already on top of a lot of these guys. For the quarterback position, I would, if you need somebody this very week and you're choosing between the top 2, there's Jared Goff, Sam Darnold. I would take Sam Darnold over that. Tua looks like he's going to be coming back this week. That's no guarantee. That's part of the reason why he's a little bit lower, despite having a really good matchup there. Of course, also might have a little bit of rust to wear off, to shake off early game and whatnot. So, and it's been rough there in Miami. Trevor Lawrence then with a tougher matchup, Green Bay this week. But looking ahead of those schedules, all of them overall pretty good. The highlighted in green are like top 5 good schedules, or roughly within that range. And then the Green Bay it's not a bottom 5 defense, but it is like a bottom 10, kind of like a slightly rough matchup is all that is. Not a entirely impossible matchup. That's going to bring us on to the running backs. So Tyrone Tracy's back on the list. Same with Alexander Mattison. Had them both here last week. Just like I had Jared Goff, Sam Darnold, Tua here, and Trevor Lawrence, here last week. We just added 2 there for the quarterbacks. But we are going to add Ray Davis in here. Even in a week where he was kind of injured all week, he still looked good, got some usage. It's pretty impossible for the Buffalo to not utilize him going forward. So, worst case scenario, he's still one of the top backups to have, but he also might be somewhat usable. It looks like Alexander Madison's the starter there in Las Vegas. Not really somebody I'm going to be wanting to play this week, going up against Kansas City, the best run defense in the league. But somebody who should be rostered. Same with Tyrone Tracy. Looks like he's taken over the starter job there in New York. I don't know how great of a job that is to have, but it'll obviously come with some great upside, and he 100% should be rostered. That'll bring us on to the wide receiver options this week. Juwan Jennings is going to hop up to the top of the list with the injury of Brandon Ayuk and how he performed earlier on in the season with some injuries. So short-term and even long-term, probably going to be somebody that you could keep rostered. I will definitely be looking for him. Romeo Doubs had him here last week. Same with Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju was at the top of the list. I'll explain why he's still on the list despite the fact that he's not playing this week, but he probably won't be on the list going forward as he recovers from this injury. But Romeo Doubs, just always a good option to have. I've been saying this since the offseason. I mean, he's not like an every week starter or anything like that, but he's good to have as somebody that you can play whenever the matchup and your roster dictates that you need somebody to play at your flex spot or wherever. In terms of Juju Smith-Schuster, I'm still personally going to try to hold on to him. I know it might not be possible, and it depends how many IR spots you may or may not have exactly in your league, how you can utilize them per league rules, etc. But if you do have the ability to hold on to Juju Smith-Schuster, I still think come, 4 weeks from now, whatever, hopefully sooner, he could be quite valuable to your team. To Kansas City itself. So I think he's somebody who could be, a playoff time league winning option kind of guy. Not quite that he has that upside, but just like he could help your team get to there and help you not lose in that circumstance. So those are my top 3 wide receivers. The drop-off is pretty heavily here. There's always a whole bunch of wide receivers that are available in a pinch that you can use and hope for the best from. That's going to bring us on to the tight ends, and we're going to add on to this. So Noah Fant came through pretty nicely, decent enough this last week. Hunter Henry, though, 2 weeks in a row now. Now, I'm not like a Hunter Henry person. I've scolded people for chasing those points in the past, and it's usually right. But 2 weeks in a row with the new quarterback, it's something that we gotta think about. Now, could it have been the matchups? It very well might have been, but 2 weeks in a row from a tight end is nothing to laugh about, run away from, whatever. So we'll be happy to attack that. Maybe he should be ahead of Hunter Henry. I don't know. Hunter Henry ahead of Noah Fant. It just, I don't know, if DK Metcalf's going to be out, Noah Fant's going to probably be all the more valuable. That's going to bring us on to the DSTs this week. Kansas City going to be facing Las Vegas. That looks pretty nice to me. Houston Texans going up against Indianapolis. Chicago going up against Washington. There's kind of a drop-off, I think, after this top one. There were about maybe 3 or 4 teams that I could have picked here, but another week where it's not the best. Got a lot of the better defenses, DSTs, going up against the better matchups for DSTs, whereas, not so great defenses having some of the decent matchups here again this week. It just doesn't line up to be an easy streaming week, unless, of course, you can see Kansas City out there. I think that's the clear place to go, given that they've got the best matchup there against Las Vegas. All right, that is it. We'll keep it nice and short this week for the waiver wire because there's not a whole lot of new discussion after the weekend games. But hopefully we'll continue to get some of these people back. That should open up some, you got these day-to-day guys. That should open up some spots on some rosters to make some claims. And there you go. Once again, if you have any questions in the comments, drop them and I'll get to you. All right, peace out.